What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the 3 stages of delivering your coaching program, how to ascend to each stage, and when you know you need to go on to the next stage. So I get a lot of people that ask me, Nick, how am I supposed to train people online? What am I supposed to do? I don't have a program built out. No worries. I'm going to answer all those questions today in this video so that you'll know exactly what you need to be doing when you start getting remote clients and then what the progression looks like moving forward. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So overall, the 3 stages are going to be, number 1, you're going to want to do one-to-one calls with people. The second stage is going to be, you're going to want to build out a program, still do one-to-one. And then number 3 is you're going to want to develop a group and then give one-to-one as needed. And then obviously number 4 would be hire people underneath you. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to keep it at the 3 stages because for most of you guys, that's really what you're going to need, at least in the short term, right? So number 1, stage number 1, one-to-one calls. Okay, so if you don't have any remote clients, you don't have any programs built out, this is where you need to live, right? And the reason why you need to live in the one-to-one call stage is because you don't know necessarily what people are actually going to get value from. So if you build a program out and you don't know specifically what's going to be good or what's not going to be good, then you're actually wasting your time trying to build a program out, right? Think about if you were going to train somebody in person. It's essentially a one-on-one call, but in the cage with them or like hands-on with them, right? So you basically just give them, you can give them like a live lesson, right? You can give them a live lesson, or you can just talk about whatever, right? Talk about whatever it is that you're helping coach them with, right? So let's say you're giving them like mental skills, right? You just talk about what they can be doing, right? Or let's say you're a pitching coach, you talk about their mechanics. Like you could do like a mechanical breakdown even. Okay, so these are the things that you can be doing with the one-to-one calls. And the way you transition into getting an actual program is you take all of the questions that you're getting in here and all of the main themes, right? And then number 2, you can start to build out a program with one-to-one, right? And so what you're going to be doing in this phase is you're still taking these one-on-one calls. Maybe you're still doing live lessons. Maybe you're still doing just like talks or like mechanical breakdowns. But what you're going to be adding are training modules, trainings/drills. Okay? And so from there, now you're building out more resources for people. Okay? So at first, you just have one-to-one calls. You just give them a live lesson, whatever, right? It's pretty much the same as being in person. You're just doing it over the phone, so people probably see it as less valuable, right? But now you're doing one-to-one with trainings and drills, right? So that way you have things that are answering the questions that you're getting in here, right? Or you're building out trainings or building out modules that are explaining your overall concepts, right? And what you're going to do here is you're going to record your calls, right? So you're going to record the calls, right? So on these, you can record these calls too, just so you have more information. But if you're just starting out, these calls are going to be less valuable than these ones, right? Because now as we go down the ladder, we're going to be able to answer more questions with pre-built out videos. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand is that once you have your program, you make trainings, you make drills based on these questions that they have. And then the one-on-one calls that you get on with your guys, you record them and you can upload them into a community, right? And so that's what we're trying to do in this step as well, is start, I'm gonna erase that, that looks terrible. Start your community, right? And so you can start building out your community because at this point, like let's say one-to-ones, this is probably like first 5 to 10 clients, okay? In the one-to-ones. And then in this part, it's probably like 20 to 30 clients is when, you know, you're going to be building out this program here, right? And you're going to start building out your community. And the way you can start building out your community is by posting these calls in there, or posting new trainings or new drills, right? But you're getting people to engage. And what you can even do in this phase 2 is starting by building a community, is you can do group calls, right? So you're doing one-to-ones, you're doing the trainings, you're doing the drills, you're recording your calls, etc. But now you're doing group calls so you can start building the community so people can start talking to each other, right? And now they're actually building a real connection. So once we've started building out the community, let's say maybe we have a program built, right? This is where we start to go into the group model. And this is probably like 30 plus here, right? And so you can still do one-to-one calls. You can still give people messaging, right? But now you have an entire program. You have an entire program. You have a huge archive of resources, right? And by an archive of resources, I mean all these calls that you've been recording are now in an archive, to where the whole goal is where every single time you add a new customer, the program gets more valuable, because now there are more people in the group, in your community. And so now there's more people inside that everybody can learn from, right? And now you're developing an ecosystem, right? That's really the goal here, is to create an ecosystem, provide the environment for people to get better together, right? And you can still do one-to-one down here, right? But you're gonna have so many resources, so many trainings, and you promote people posting in the group chat, so that way people can answer each other's questions and comment and give feedback, right? And you can message them back and forth. And then if they have more in-depth questions or something like that, you can hop on a one-on-one. And you want to do one-on-ones, because the more one-on-ones you do, the more resources, the more archives you're going to have, right? And now you have an entire asset library, right? So if you're struggling with the concept of how do I build an online program, this is how you do it. Start here, right? Just do one-on-one calls. Figure out what people need. When you're training somebody in person, what do? Do you have all these programs and shit built out? No. You don't have anything built out when you're training somebody in person. You just go, all right, I'm going to watch you, see what you need, and then give it to you, right? The reason why the internet is so powerful and why you can get even better results with people on the internet than in person is because nobody is doing this stuff with their in-person guys, right? Because they think, oh, one-on-one is enough. One-on-one training is enough. But when you can give people one-to-one and all of this stuff, that's where your program becomes way more valuable. And that's when people start telling other people how sick your program is. That's when you start getting referrals, you start having relationships built, things like that. You can have a real community. They'll start commenting on your posts, things like that. So if you're freaking out about how to do online training, these are really the 3 stages. Stage 4 would be starting to hire people. Most of you guys don't need that. Maybe I'll make another video about that one day, but I hope you got a ton of value out of this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.